Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry, I was rubbing my nose for a second. My nose was bothering me, just itchy. So I'm returning to you for another movie review this afternoon for The Accountant 2, the 2025 film that I got a chance to watch for myself to see what I was going to think of this follow-up to the first film, The Accountant. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for this 2 hour and 14-minute film in its entirety and let you know my thoughts on the movie overall. So let's dive into this movie review. Now it stars Ben Affleck again and Jon Bernthal. And also the girl that played Medina is in this. So is J.K. Simmons for a time, but it's only in the beginning. And then he miraculously meets his end. J.K. Simmons' character, Raymond King. So there was some people that were going after Raymond King, and the reason why the Medina lady comes in to play the deputy director of Homeland Security, or not Homeland Security, but the Treasury or something like that. She basically has to go look for the accountant, which is Ben Affleck's character, Christian Wolf, and try to find these people that did it and kill them, basically, and get justice for Raymond King's murder. So, pretty much, there was more going on with this whole story than you think. And this lady Edith Sanchez comes into play too, but you don't find out who she really is till you get to the end of the film. But overall, I think this film did have a good storyline, and granted, I had a few critiques with this film, like the last one, but it's still a good movie in its own way. I think it's a fairly good movie, and the action scenes and the shootout scenes were pretty strong in this film. And this film did have more variety and more things that was showing in this film that I was really impressed with. Some of the cinematography in this film. So overall, I think Ben Affleck's character is still kind of abrupt and does things that you don't think he should say or do because of his disorder. But overall, Jon Bernthal's character was pretty good in this movie. He does finally pick a side on who he wants to be associated with, but he kind of backstabs his brother in a way in this film after this unknown assassin comes and tries to kill Medina and the deputy of Department of Security. Give me a second, I gotta pause the video. Hey guys, sorry about pausing the video. My mom was summoning me and was asking me for something. So, to get back on track, I think The Accountant 2 was a good movie in its own way. Granted, like I said, I have a few critiques with this film, and its overall execution and performances were pretty solid in this. But I think this was I don't know if it was weaker than the first film, but it was still a good film in its own way. It's probably better than the first film in a little bit of a regard, saying that it's slightly better because of the way this film presents itself. And it's very memorable in a way. So sorry about me yawning. I'm just very tired. Probably gonna take a nap in a little bit, but I don't know when. But other than that, this movie did have its good action scenes and shootout scenes, and basically Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal's characters in this film worked together to save the kids from Juarez and save Edith Sanchez's son in a way. So I think this film did a good job in its own way. If I were to give The Accountant 2 its deserved score, I'm giving it a very strong 8.5 out of 10. It's a pretty good film. Surprisingly, I enjoyed it more than the first one. The first one did have some boring points, but this one did turn out to be a little better than the first one. Granted, there are a few critiques, like I said, I have with this film, with how Ben Affleck's character and his performance of his character turns out, and how what he says comes off the wrong way, and in a more light-hearted way, like he kind of didn't care in a way, but it was what his character's condition was in this film. But overall, I think this film had a good premise, good storyline, and it did a pretty good job with the action scenes. So, yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for The Accountant 2. I hope you enjoyed this movie review this afternoon. I'll have Until Dawn, the next movie, come out, which is based off a video game, by the way, which I heard wasn't that great. So I'll be watching that next, so wish me luck on that. But until then, I'll have that and have it come out and then go to the May movies afterwards. So I appreciate you guys watching this movie review this afternoon, and I'll see you guys soon in my next movie review whenever that comes out. Thanks for watching.